Good evening, students. This is Mr. Martin. We're going to go over the product rule today. And by the end of this lesson, you're going to have a shortcut for this rule. But what we're going to do with this is simplify exponential expressions. And we have to figure out when we can do this and how we can do this. We have three examples we're going to do and one non-example to help explain when we don't do this. So our first example is going to be an easy one. And what we're going to do here is instead of me giving you a shortcut, we're going to expand out what our base and exponent means so we can discover the shortcut. So our first example is 2 to the 4th power times 2 to the 3rd power. Well, when we do 2 to the 4th power, really that's a shortcut from this multiplication problem. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 4 2's in a multiplication problem. And I'm going to put parentheses around this just to kind of point out, well, this is our 2 to the 4th power. And we're going to multiply that to 2 to the 3rd power, which is 3 2's in a multiplication problem. We're going to put parentheses around those. So we have how many 2's we're really multiplying all together? Well, we have 4 in the front and 3 in the back. Well, how many 2's is that really? Well, it's 7 2's. So we're really multiplying 7 2's. Our exponent's 7 and our base is 2 because it's the same number all the way across. Well, think about this. Did our bases change at all? No. Same base. It's 2 all across. What was the one thing that changed and how do you change it? Well, we had 4 2's to begin with. We multiplied to 3 2's and when we ended up with 7 2's being multiplied together. Well, what can you do with 4 and 3 and get 7? That's right, you add them together. And you're starting to probably think, well, that's pretty simple. I mean, I don't need this video anymore. Well, there's times you can do this and times you can't. So that's what we're going to be exploring during the video. So let's go ahead and talk about our second example. Now, if you want to go ahead and think about the second example, you can. And our second example is 10 to the 2nd power times 10 to the 3rd power. Well, if you want to go ahead and try the shortcut out, you can. But really, 10 to the 2nd power is 10 times 10. And we're going to multiply that to 10 to the 3rd power, which is 10 times 10 times 10. Well, are we still only multiplying by 10's here? Yes. So our base is still 10. Well, how many 10's are in this multiplication problem we've written out? 5. So our bases didn't change. The only thing that changed was our exponents, and what can you do with 2 and 3 and get 5? You add them. So it worked again. So you're probably really thinking, oh, this is going to be easy because we can leave the bases alone and just add our exponents together, and that's really your shortcut. But there's one little slight problem. What if we had a problem like this, where it's 2 to the 3rd power times 10 to the 2nd power? Well, here's the thing. What is 2 to the 3rd power really? It's 3 2's. So 1, 2, 3 2's in a multiplication problem. And 10, of course, is, to 2nd power, is 2 10's being multiplied together. Well, are all of these 2's here, all these factors? No. You have 3 2's here and 2 10's here. That means all these are not 10's either. So can we apply the product rule here? No. So your simplified answer is already up here. All you can do with this now is evaluate it. In other words, use your order of operations to come out with an answer. But we're not going to do that here. I expect you to already be able to do that. We're not going to do it right here, though, because we're learning about this product rule. I want to show one more example, and then we'll talk about what the shortcut is, what the rule really states. Here we have 3 to the 4th power times 3. Well, let's think about this for a second. How many 3's are in our first multiplication problem? That's right, 4 of them. And we're going to multiply this to a single 3 right here. Well, Are all these 3's? Yes, so your base is still 3. And how many 3's are you multiplying together? 5 of them. So you have 3 to the 5th power as your simplified answer. Well, if that's true, well, we still added something to this 4, but why can we put over this 3 here to show it's just a single 3? 1, because it's 3 to the 1st power. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So you can still work the product rule here, but sometimes when you have a number by itself, you got to put in what power it is, which is to the 1st power. So what is our little rule here? Well, the product rule basically is when multiplying exponential expressions, you can add the exponents of the same base. So if your bases are the same, you can add your exponents together. And what we're going to do in our next coming slides is just a few sample problems and an entry slip for tomorrow just to see, how you handled this.